going to talk about films and a film review. And let's have a look onto the screen. And as for me, there are usual two types of movies: amusing movies and serious ones. The amusing movies have the power to make people laugh and feel relaxed after a long, hard day, while the serious ones have the ability to make people think a bit about their lives and lifestyles. However, the choice between the two types is still very controversial. In my opinion, I believe that we can get more benefits from the serious movies. In addition, serious movies encourage each of us to have a different attitude toward an issue. Moreover, it is also may point out the dark side of our society, make us think about ourselves and our life. What types of film am I speaking about? Choose from the list which you can see on the screen. 1. The film. I love films about Wild West, especially ones with cowboys and Indians. Okay, let's hear again and find out keywords. I love films about Wild West, especially ones with cowboys and Indians. That is our... Yes, you are right, that is Western. The second one, it was probably the scariest ghost film I ever seen before. Keywords, the scariest. Yeah, you are right, that is a horror film. It was the next one. It was the most exciting and gripping film I ever seen. You didn't know who the murderer was until the very end. Which type of film is it? Yeah, you are absolutely right. That is a thriller. The special effects were amazing, and people actually live on the planet Mars. Yeah, that's not be afraid to say that is a type of science fiction film. And the last one for this point, I am really interested in that period of history. But I don't think the film was accurate, so I didn't enjoy it. Let me think, if we talk about the history, what type of film is it? Yes, you are absolutely right. That is a historical drama. If you want to tell somebody about the film or movie which you like or dislike, in such a way you need to use such phrases as, for example, is a big fan of science fiction film. I really like, or I really don't like, action films. I quite like, that means that you like, or it's okay for you. I quite like disaster film. I'm not really into war film because they are too violent for me. The historical drama and animated films are okay. When I have a bad mood, I sit close to my TV set and watch my favorite animated film because it makes me laugh. And not very useful, but in some way, when you want to express the film or movie which you not like, you usually say, or which you never watch at all, there is a strong phrase, I can't stand horror films. After that, if you look through into this slide, we can also, in our English language, use some adjectives which help us to describe a film or a movie. The adjectives are very close to the context. That is, when you have such type of task, you need to pay your attention at the context. For example, our task is to match the adjectives with or fill the gaps with the appropriate adjective, or match the adjective with the missing parts. I can't stand romantic comedies. We think, why is it so? Here we go. They are too predictable because we know what is going on at the end of the story. The special effects were absolutely wow. What word from the list is more suitable there? Yeah, that's right. Spectacular, impressive, when you can't take away your eyes from the screen. That is, the special effects were absolutely spectacular. I've never been so bored in my life. This film was, let me think, I like it or I don't like it at all. Bored. It's okay or not okay? Yeah, that is not okay. I don't like this film at all. That is, what negative form do we have there in a list? Yeah, slow. Slow motion. The actions is going on too slow or isn't fast enough. And it was a very gap film. Not much happened in the first hour. That can be also slow or serious. There was too much fighting and blood. I'm not really into if it is, there is a plenty of blood and fights. What adjective we usually need to use to describe this type of film? Use the context. The keywords are fighting and blood. Yeah, you are absolutely right. I'm not really into what type of film? Violent. Violent, where there is a lot of fights. There weren't many laughs, but it really let me think. I quite like serious films. Why I think that is serious? Why I use serious in this gap? Because at the end, while I was watching this film, this type of story make me think about maybe my life or my behavior in a modern society. That is suitable, is absolutely right answer. The story was fantastic. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen from the start to finish. That means I am a big fan of gripping films, which make me live the life of the actors and be inside the scenario. The film was for children. Why? What should I use in the cap? Yeah, let's have a look onto the second context sentence. They hid behind the sofa. Hid. It's like close because they were afraid of something, like small rabbits. That is, the film was too scary for children. If you have such type of task, be very attentive, because you need to use the context while you fill any gaps in a sentence. As for me, I'm a big fan of Avatar. You ask me, oh, it's too old. Natalie, what is going on? There are a lot of modern films nowadays, but each of you has your own ideas and your favorite ones. Not for me. I loved Avatar. It's a science fiction film. The story was really gripping. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen from the start of the beginning. And the special effects were so much spectacular. And as I try to remember, I watch it 3 times a week because it's my favorite one. I'm not going to talk about dislikes or some types of film which I don't like. I want to build a positive and very useful option which are given in the next task. That is our film review. From time to time, our teachers at school, your teachers and me also, ask my students to write a film review. They think, okay, what is the structure? What I should write before I start at the start and at the end of my review? Let's watch into the example. Our film review needs to have 4 main parts, where you say about your favorite film and its name. You also need to say what type of film is it or what type of movie. What are the main characters? They are famous Hollywood actors or not? In the second part, you also need to open the plot and say what are the main characters and what are their names. In the third one, in option C, you need to say about the acting, about the special effects, about the music, if you like musicals. It's okay. And it can be 1 or 2 choices. In the last one, in option D, you show in your review your overall opinion about the film. That is very successful example of a film review. And as I said before, there are some expert strategies. The first one is expert strategy due to the structure. And the second one is connected with writing type. If you talk about the structure, it is very important to use some basic information about the film. Name of film, type of film, and also actors. Don't forget about them because they are the main in your film review. Plot summary. Maybe you need to give a brief information about what the story is about. Is it entertaining? Is it slow motion? Is it spectacular or gripping? The third part, in option C, you need to show one or two aspects of a film. For example, do you like the music? Or what was going on with the acting? And don't forget, if you are a big fan of action film, to write a brief sentence about special effects. And you finish your film review as to the structure with your overall opinion. You simply answer for the question, why even this film you like the most. That is for the structure. And the last strategy for today's lesson, I need to pay your attention and show some controversial option which help you to make your writing more colorful and enrich your sentence. In writing strategy, we use two words, the most widespread ones, which are however and although. Why do we need them? To express contrast between two different sentences, or to show the contrast in a one sentence and pay attention into two different points. Let's see our example. It isn't a very long film. That is one sentence. And the next one I need to start with however, because I express contrast between two separate sentences. However, the plot is complicated. As to although, I also need to express contrast, but in two pieces of information, or in two pieces over one sentence. Let's see and read our example. Although, can you see that? Do you put any comma there? Yeah, you don't need any comma after although. In the other hand, however, has a comma. Although it's a children's film, the ending is quite sad. That is all for today. I want that at home you will try to describe your favorite film and write a film review about it. You also need, if you want, to use my expert strategy, the plan of it, and don't forget about our keywords, however and although. I wish you good luck, be healthy and wealthy, and see you next week.